Right, so today's mission is to put that turbo in this truck. Now, there's a little turbo down there, and it's making some noises, isn't it, Glen?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, some not so pleasant noises. So that is hopefully going to be remedied today. If not, we're in a big bit of trouble, aren't we?
Yeah.
Glen's just down there draining the oil because it's nasty. And it's his new light bar that he fitted last night. Oh, we need some tests of that later. But yeah, so hopefully by today, if not the latest it'll be tomorrow, we're going to be chooching that in there. Exciting times. There we go. Ooh, one small turbo boy.
Turbroski. It's a fucking huge increase in the compressor housing.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
The turbine is definitely bigger between those
Came
two.
with a new gasket.
That did, yeah.
Yeah.
They also bought.
Can't really tell because there's so much carbon in here.
Yeah,
But-
fuck yeah.
So Glen and I just did a parts mish to go and get some silicon joiners and stuff, and we got some visitors. Come and hang out for the afternoon and do a bit of work on their cars. Look at this. You remember this car? Still going, hasn't blown it up yet. Sweet.
I hope
Just
so.
got
Done everything.
a few joiners and bits and pieces. And a few more joiners and bits and pieces. I'm sure we've forgotten stuff, but helium. Helium. So, here's our mission, is to get
Yeah, man.
this, these, and a few other bits and pieces back in the car. So, I'm going to stop for a lunch break and then get back into it. Test fit seems to be all good. Look at that. That is pretty beautiful, actually. I'm impressed with that. What a fitment. So now we've just got to fit up some oil lines, which came with it, thankfully. We've just put the higher pressure spring in the wastegate actuator, set the angle of the dangle. And yeah, now we've just got a couple of little messy roundy bits, and then we can start building a downpipe, getting some piping together for an intake and to connect to the intercooler. So we're getting there. It's only been like 5 hours so far.
Yeah.
It has been a bit of a mess around, but it's not too bad. But no, that fitment's real good, eh? We've also had to ditch, unfortunately, the aircon. So Glen's going to have a hot car now, but that's his problem. It's not my problem. So no aircon when bush skis along the beach. So, as is always the case with kits, things don't quite fit. Here is the factory oil feed bung for the Isuzu, and the bungs that they give us is that one, which is completely wrong, totally different thread, yada yada yada. So, we have Glen's at the moment. Actually, let me just show you what he's doing. He's going to braze on the fitting from the Isuzu onto the other fitting. So here's where we're at. And braze it onto there, and in theory it should all work from there on. If it doesn't, it's no worse off than it was before. Ah, look at this little fella.
Hey, what you doing, buddy?
Being super chill.
Hey, oh, super chill.
No, he's sad panda because I just put him back in the truck. Hey.
Absolute AIDS. But if it seals, it seals. Rough and ready wins the race.
Does it though? Okay, we'll go with that. Can you blow through it? That's the sound I wanted to hear. I wanted to make sure you could get air through it.
Yeah, no way.
Like, we're going to know if there's an oil leak. One oil feed line. Excellent. We're finally putting something back in the truck. So, Turbine is essentially ready to go back in, I think. We've rotated the housing on the intake side, so it's about the same as the old turbo. The studs are all in, the oil feed and the oil return are in. That's all set up with the correct spring. I think we're good to go. And we've just put the oil feed line in the engine bay. Now we just need to run the water lines and the oil return. Those are all pretty straightforward because those, unlike the oil feed line, actually fit. So that's going to work nice and easily. And then once that's in, we can start building a downpipe and the intake and the attachment to the intercooler. So cheer. Are you happy with the angle of the dangle? Oh, that's perfect. Nice. Couple of tacks around there. Next step is to cut this. Right there. No, that's not going to make a difference. Cut that down to fit in there. We can weld around the top. Oh, it's going to be fun to weld in there. And we have ourselves a downpipe. Pretty close. Should be close enough to fill in with weld, I reckon. And just sort of do that and inside. Oh, it should be smooth on there anyway. Nice, man.
Mate, that's good, isn't it?
It's pretty fucking awesome. So, we've managed to bash the crap out of this and get a real, not quite nice just yet, but we're getting there. We'll fold around the wastegate. So, that's all from there. We just got to smooth that out afterwards, but for the most part, that is looking pretty nice. Get a weld on there, we'll give it a buff up and see how she looks, eh? There we go. Oh my god. That looks beautiful. Give us a twirl, darling. Nice, man. Good work. Oh, that's good. John's got the beast going. I mean, okay, so it's taken pretty much all day to paint a rocker cover. Such a slacker. But
You're a slacker.
we got there in the end. Look, it's even got some sick idle skis. Does idle a lot better since the tune, eh?
Yeah. Like, you left it this long before the tune, by now, after a couple of minutes of running, you're going, go.
Yeah.
The engine would have been shaking from nearly stalling itself out, but through that, man.
Oh, a bit of turbo. Dom loves his rice and his block valves and shit like that. He also loves filling workshops with smoke, apparently. So, update. Coolant lines, done. Ready to go on the turbo. Oil feed, done. Ready to go on the turbo. Loud boy. Okay, I think he stopped. gasket on. Yeah, we are ready to start bolting some shit up. Glen has done a pretty spectacular job on the downpipe. So we sort of bashed this piece here at the bottom. Yeah, you see my finger, there it is. This bit around here, bashed it to shape, welded it in. That'll do the job. I think we did okay. And so it's going to bolt on the back of the turbo, and then the next job is to try and get all these things to work. See what happens. And put this in place, and then do a whole bunch of other stuff. And turbo is still sitting in the same place it's been sitting for like 3 hours. But we ate pizza. We're ready to pull an all-nighter if we have to. How's it all going, Glen? Explain to me what you're doing.
Boosting my truck G.
I mean, the finer details, like the sexy braided lines that we've just put in place.
Well, we're doing our first test fit.
Yep. So the downpipe, we're just about to start dummying up. We decided we're going to do a test fit on the hoses here. So as you can see, we've got our oil feed and our two water lines.
Made pipe.
And a very freshly made dump pipe. So that's its final resting place. And there we go, there we have it. That's how it's going to sit. So all we've got to do now, intake off the front of the turbine here, and then we've got a high pressure hot side from here to the intercooler, which sits up the top here. So, obviously we've got little lines and stuff, but our next main goal is to finish building this downpipe, and then we can piss around with the intake side of things. So that's sort of how we're looking at the moment. It's taken, I say it's taken all day. It hasn't really taken all day for this. We've been doing a whole bunch of work on Dom's car and messing around with other stuff, so it's more been like about 5 hours to get to this point, but it's been slow progress. And here we go. There is a turbo in the engine bay that wasn't the same one that was in there this morning. So I'd call that a pretty huge success at this point. In fact, I'm going to call anything a success at this point because it's just progress. What a beautiful looking turbo though. It does look nice. I'll tell you what, it's supposed to be a kit. There's a couple of little cock-ups, but most of it's fitted pretty good. And it's come from this crowd here. So thanks Mambo for making such a sick turbo setup for the mighty Isuzu. Oh, g'day, g'day. It's almost 9 o'clock. It's not exactly late, but we've spent a bit of time messing around with this thing, and we're currently building a downpipe for it. You've seen the main flangita we made at the top. Well, we've extended that, obviously, because that's where it needs to go, down there. So there's a couple of welds in there. We'll zoom in and show you the beauty that is this downpipe. So couple of little bends just there to get it going nice and smooth and following the firewall, and we're just about to do a nice big bend to get it to go whoosh, under the car. I completely missed it. It's supposed to be over there. There it is. Whoosh, like that, just like that, and then it's going to meet up with the rest of the exhaust. So once that's done, then we can, well, we basically have the exhaust ready to go then, and we can put the, basically Glen didn't want to weld around the oil return, so once this part's done, we can put the oil return in, we can do all these up nice and tight and put them in their final positions, put the intercooler on, and then start matching up intake sides of things. Top up the coolant and maybe even go for a bit of a drive. Well, we've got to put oil in it first. Remind me to put oil in this before we start it, because it's got no oil in it at the moment and we don't want things to go pop. So this is sort of where we're at. We're going to put another flange in down there so we can remove the downpipe separately if we need to. If we don't do that, then it's going to be a turbo job to remove the downpipe, and ain't nobody got time for that. So this is sort of where we're at. How you doing down there, Glen?
Alright.
You good, man?
So good.
You good? Just doing up bolts and stuff. I'm gonna come down there. Oh, can I do it? Can I do it? This is scary. Oh, I did it and I didn't break anything. So doing up the exhaust. so that we can match this part of it up. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's heaps of movement there.
I just realised that we got a lot hanging on it.
I'll put a block of wood under there so it sits where it's supposed to.
That's a good idea.
And then we can just match it on up.
That's a fucking good idea.
So, it's going to be a case of join the dots. That dot and that dot. No. That dot there, that dot. So, once those two jots are joined, we have a complete exhaust and we can go, which is the native sound of the diesel, isn't it? It's the diesel mating call with the cologne of diesel fumes.
So
Yes. So
not so do.
not. Is that gonna be enough? I think it needs a bit more. I think you need another rag.
Yeah, it's a bit.
Look, here's another rag.
Plenty. That's a bit.
Just put that one up there. Nice. Oh yeah, that's sitting good. That's about where that needs to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
Happy days. Look at this. Look. Let's go on a tour of Glen's exhaust.
You're gonna get one from us starting up, just like.
Oh yeah, of course. Like that first start of a diesel with that massive big boof of smoke that comes out. So we didn't quite get the position of this exhaust right when we made it, but it's okay because the diff fixed it for us. But it's raised now, so there's plenty of clearance there. But the diff did a good job of putting a nice dent in it for us. Anyone would think you drove this off-road, man, with all this mud under here. Like, what even is this?
I've water blasted this.
Oh, serious?
Twice. Just for this job.
Oh. Well, you did a shit job. Check that out. Right, so we've got our pyro gauge sensor there. Downpipe. All done. Mate, that is an absolute work of art. It's almost a waste to put it on this dirty diesel Isuzu Bighorn. I want a pit. This is what I want. I want one of these in my house so I can come down here and do these things without having to climb down on my back and be all uncomfortable and shit, because this is just the coolest thing. So, oh, he's unbolted it. I didn't even see that. Look, it's over there. Sneaky sneakster you are. You unbolted the other pipe there. Oh, have you welded it as well?
Okay.
I never even saw you do it. Well, I must have been on my own planet because I didn't see that. Well guys, we are going to call it for tonight. It's relatively early by car guy standards, but we're both pretty knackered. So our plan tomorrow when we get back in here is to properly bolt the turbo on. At the moment it's just held on by a singular couple, well that's not a singular, a pair of bolts on top. Do the oil return line, and then so what we've decided to do is we're actually just going to run it a hot pipe to get it drivable tomorrow, just with a few joins literally just straight across the top there, because the intercooler, and I'll show you this right now, we've unbolted, so it has this big flangey bit that bolts on there that looks all nasty. So what we're going to do, push that out of there. That will sit like so. Have I got that wrong? No, that's right. There we go. So it'll sit like that. So I have a join there, obviously. And down here, on this side, we're going to get welded on here a 2.5 inch sort of butt coming out of there. So we're going to rotate the turbine housing just a little bit more with a 90-degree join on there. So that's going to make that all nice and juicy. And then we will have this shortened up slightly so it fits a bit nicer. That will slide in there, like, well, eventually, like so. It will go in like that, and then we'll have a 90-degree across there, and the intake will run across to the factory location. So that's all going to fit in pretty damn nicely, I think. So that's us for tonight. I'll pick this up in the morning. We're going to have a nice good sleep in because both of us are knackered. And then be time for a good cleanup because we made a hell of a mess. But that's what you do when you're modifying crap. So here's where we're at. And hopefully tomorrow we'll just be in there for an hour or so. Probably be more than that. But get it all plumbed up, ready for a test drive. So, well, I'll see you guys in the morning. Well, thanks to the wonders that are video editing, what was 10:30 last night is now 10:30 today. And we are back at it to finish this truck off. And we don't have a hell of a lot of stuff to do, just we kind of burned ourselves out last night and decided to call it quits. So, we've got back where we left off. This is coming back out because we're just going to run the hot pipe. That's really heavy with one hand. I think we're all done for the welding side of things, but we've just got to finish plumbing this up, connect the downpipe, put all the gaskets in, flush the coolant because we've drained a whole bunch of that to put the coolant lines in, and yeah, we've got the downpipe sitting right here ready to go. Give you a better idea of how that looks in the daylight. Our pyro sensor up there, not too bad I don't think. I think that's a good job. And then we've welded the flange on there so it now bolts up to the secondary pipe down here, and the rest of the exhaust is the same as it was, which is 2.5 right the way through. So I guess we'd better get stuck back into it. Hopefully for the last time. The turbo goes in. Dun, dun, dun. Glen's bolting up the exhaust, and we're going to ditch this. Decided to ditch the resonator in there, so we just have the one muffler because he likes shit to be loud, don't you, Glen?
Definitely. Everything's better.
Here is the finished result of the downpipe. So try and get the angle there. Yeah, it's going up there to the turbo, down, around there. Looks pretty tidy actually. And now he's ruining it by cutting a big bloody great hole in it. Nice. So, Muscusi. So I'm just filling up fluids at the moment. Just put some oil in it, wait for it to clear so I can see how much I've actually put in it, because on these ones it drains through the dipstick, so the dipstick's just covered in oil. It's a complete waste of time for the moment. Top up some coolant in a second, and then we're actually getting pretty close to being able to fire this thing up once Glen's done the resonator. So I reckon give us another hour and a half, and we'll have some whooshkis. Yep. Nothing yet.
Yeah, we forgot that the had to fill up the oil filter and everything, you know?
Yeah. so we've decided that that's actually what we can do today. So we've got the turbo, everything's plumbed up, the turbo is working, and Glen is just doing, he's ditching the resonator on the exhaust at the moment, so that's going to be finished shortly. What we're going to do, so we've got the intercooler on top. I showed you yesterday that we're going to weld the pipe on the end. Unfortunately, we can't weld aluminium, so that's got to be done by someone who can tomorrow.
Specialist.
And then once that's done, we can put the intercooler on, and we might as well just get it done right the first time, eh?
Exactly.
Like, plumb it all together.
Which is why.
Yeah, so plumb it all together with the right bits, and then we'll drive it, you know, in its finished all glory. So we've got, going to have a little pipe that goes from there to the intercooler. That bit's going to be fine. This part here we're going to trim back to go on the front of the turbine there, and then so that goes from a 2" to 2.5, and then a 2.5 to 3" with our intake running across the top here with a sick potty at the end of it. So that is the game plan, but with everything closed today because it's a Sunday, we can't really do much more, so we've actually reached the limit of what we can actually do. So I'm going to go home, I'm going to grab some dirty chicken nuggets on the way because I've been craving them for about an hour, and we'll get back to it after work tomorrow night, and hopefully we'll have some finishing results and we'll be good to go. So bye Glen,
Bye.
you can do the little touchy-uppy bits, and I'm going to go and eat some chicken nuggets. Boom. Well, no boom. Ooh, that intake looks good.
It's pretty good, eh? That's just steel.
All back together. Booyah. Dude, that looks pretty good.
That's the welded piece there.
Yep. Nice, man. Tidy. Cut. What the fuck is this, Glen? What the fuck is this?
Bro, look at this.
You haven't cut your cable tie.
Bro, I haven't got any of these. Look at that.
Oh my god. This should be illegal. That looks awesome. Right. You know what has to happen next, Glen? Boosty time.
All sounds healthy, eh?
Yeah, it sounds good. It's doing its thing. So yeah, it's way louder with the window open. Because the intake's like, yeah, right there. Yeah.
As soon as you pass the wall,
Yeah. With the window closed, she's nice and quiet. The window open, she's rowdy. But no, man, it's very smooth. Makes the right whooshkies noises. Yeah, it's very responsive.
very responsive, eh?
Feels pretty similar to the old turbo actually as far as response goes. Just with way more whooshkies.
Way more. Yeah, responsiveness is actually. Oh, it's a little.
Yeah, like it's just a smidgen laggier,
yeah,
but not.
Nothing to complain.
No, it's like it's only a slight difference, but the rest of the power right the way through makes up for it.
Huge. It was like going into power like 2.5, maybe 2.9. I was like,
Which only gives you like 1,000 RPM of boost.
I know. And fucking that's more than a gear change.
Yeah.
It's less than a
So
gear
basically what happened, you probably can't see it, but I'll tell you anyway. What happened is it was super laggy and real sluggish on the boost when we first put the turbo on, and I suggested to Glen that he check the adjustment on the wastegate, which was just loose enough to be venting air instead of coming on the boost. So he tightened that up, and now we have what we see now, which is nice good throttle response and many whooshkies. Yeah, I'd be happy with that, eh? Only a whole weekend pissing around in the garage, and now we got some sick sounds.
First gear there, come on.
This is not a supercar.
It's still a truck, you know?
Still a truck. But we'll give us some.
Well, it sounds like it's above, eh?
It does, because it's got that like, yeah, the way it spools down again
Yeah.
through the intake. Yeah, it sounds badass. it.